Live from the Moscone Convention Center in San Francisco, California, it's theCUBE at Oracle OpenWorld 2014. Brought to you by headline sponsor Cisco Systems, with support from NetApp. And now, here are your hosts, John Furrier and Jeff Frick.
Okay, welcome back everyone. We're here live in San Francisco for Oracle OpenWorld. This is theCUBE, our flagship program. We go out to the events and extract the signals from the noise. I'm John Furrier, the co-founder of SiliconANGLE Media. Joined Jeff Frick, GM of our CUBE in Silicon Valley. Our next guest is Adam Fore, Director of Virtualization and Cloud Solution Marketing for NetApp. Welcome back to theCUBE.
Thanks, John.
Last time we spoke, we were on the field at AT&T Park, and Giants have an away game for a one-day playoff, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll make it. Lots changed.
Yeah, lots has changed. I actually manage FlexPod and the marketing for FlexPod, and we've seen a lot of changes just in that platform. We've just over the last 4 years, we've seen that grow dramatically. So we've seen it grow over $3 billion in total revenue since we first started, over 4,100 customers. So I think I was talking about FlexPod back then. So we've just seen that growth continue to grow dramatically.
So there's a lot of talk about Flash, and the Flash adoption seems like it's getting faster and faster as really they move the opportunity beyond just what was the traditional early stage Flash, which was low latency, really high value apps. That was the only way that we could recognize the value of the investment. But it seems to be changing. It seems like the Flash is now being broadly distributed, and really I think what the hyperscale guys have demonstrated is there's tremendous value in speed, there's tremendous value in delivering those applications in a way that people can respond to them. It's not necessarily just about what you already perceive to be a super high value application. So,
yeah, and Jeff, the thing about the Flash thing is interesting is the Flash is the hottest thing on the planet right now, and Flash is not a one-trick pony. Flash is not about all Flash arrays. There's a lot of different nuances around workloads, right? You got transactional workloads, which was great for Flash, cost per megabyte and throughput. These are all considerations, which by the way are very dynamic. So Adam, you know, Cisco and Oracle and NetApp kind of all here within theCUBE in our booth here. This is the future. The adaptive enterprise was a word kicked around a while ago. The intelligent network, right. Intelligent storage. Basically it's software. So with that trend, what's your take on all that, and what do you guys have for that new environment?
Well, we think Flash is critical, and what we've been rolling out here in the last few weeks is a couple different new Flash architectures, or implementing Flash into our architectures. There's a variant of FlexPod that we call FlexPod Select. So that's really dedicated to specific applications. And so we've got a FlexPod Select that's built on our EF550. It's an all-flash array, and that's supporting an Oracle RAC environment. And so what we found, and we did performance testing on that, is it's achieved 1 million IOPS at very sub-millisecond latencies. So that's one, and then we've also implemented Flash in our FlexPod data center. So that's our shared virtual infrastructure platform. So there, it's an all-flash node, but you can also cluster that with hybrid configurations, or even all spinning disk configurations. So with our clustered architecture, now you've got the ability to move workloads and data dynamically, non-disruptively, between an all-flash environment to a hybrid environment to even an all-spinning disk environment. So it's a nice way of really getting the benefits of all-flash for one of your workloads temporarily if you need, or as the workload environment changes, you can actually dynamically change that as well.
FlexPod, flexibility, makes sense. I guess that's in the name. But talk about what it means for the customer. Okay, I'm a customer. So I have a pre-existing investment. I may have filers from NetApp all the way up to all kinds of maybe other vendors. What does that mean to me? What is FlexPod? What does that mean to me for this customer?
Well, the Flex in FlexPod is primarily the ability to implement a pod, a data center pod, that's got state-of-the-art architectures. Things like the state-of-the-art Cisco servers, the state-of-the-art Cisco networking, like the latest architecture we have now implements application-centric infrastructure. So FlexPod is the first converged infrastructure with fully enabled ACI. So it's really a platform for new innovations. And the Flex in FlexPod is the ability to customize the sizing of that pod to the specific needs of an enterprise customer. So you can actually scale the compute, the network, the storage elements to meet the specific customer requirements. So that's really Flex, and what we find is that's really what our enterprise customers are asking for, is The larger customers really didn't want the t-shirt sizes. What they wanted was an environment that specifically fit their needs. And then, as we scale to smaller businesses, we see those t-shirt sizes being valuable, but the enterprises really wanted something that met their exact needs.
Talk about your relationship with Oracle and NetApp, the role in the converged infrastructure.
Yeah, so Oracle and Oracle Databases is actually, I think, either the top or the second top workload that runs on FlexPods. So we've got a relationship where we're actually doing validations of the Oracle environment on FlexPod, but we've also worked with Oracle with them to actually validate their technology. So we have a version of FlexPod that runs the Oracle database, on Oracle Linux, on Oracle VM, so it's a full Oracle software stack that's validated on FlexPod. So we've worked with them to kind of show really how you can optimize an infrastructure running Oracle environments.
So are customers taking advantage of this ability to move workloads and shift things around, or is it, do they put things someplace and then they got other stuff to do and they work on it? Are they actually really taking advantage, or is there like a dedicated piece of infrastructure that's kind of this is our flex piece that we use a lot for specific workloads, specific time jobs, things that really take advantage of that? Are they adapting the way they work to the capabilities that you're delivering, I guess is the question.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think of the kind of dynamics in the marketplace right now. It's the mobile, to meet the needs of mobile, the cloud, people putting private cloud environments in place, and all of that's to try and create a more agile environment. And they're actually trying to create internal infrastructure that can actually match the agility they can get from a public cloud. And so what we've seen is by far the most private clouds that are deployed with NetApp have been on FlexPod. So they're really looking to leverage the agility that we can bring with the FlexPod environment. And what we see is like service providers that are able to take tenants and move a tenant into a higher end service level contract or service level performance capabilities, and then move them back. So they can actually give a trial to a customer saying, hey, here's a higher level service, see if you like it. If not, we'll move you back to this other environment. So the ability to non-disruptively move their environments around in this flexible architecture has been something that especially our service providers have really enjoyed.
Let's talk about the Oracle engineered system. So they have a flash array. So how do you guys play with Oracle given that they have their own flash array? What do you guys do differently? I mean, they're touting all the buzzwords in the keynote around data loss, zero data loss, adding more capacity. How do you guys respond to that?
Well, I think our first response would be our FlexPod Select for high-performance Oracle racks. So it's, you look at our EF550, it's really the highest performing, lowest latency flash platform on the market today. And so that is now part of the FlexPod architecture. So we can deliver better performance with better availability. That's an enterprise class storage array, and it's fully validated, it's the full stack, and you're looking at best of breed components across all the different elements, the Cisco servers, the Cisco switches, the NetApp storage. So it's a much more flexible environment, and it's really achieving kind of the higher performance than you'd get from alternatives.
Well, that probably is enterprise SAN. SANs have been around for a while. What does Flash do for a SAN environment? What's your take on that whole market? Someone said SANs were dead, but they're not, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should be an integrated part of the SAN market, right? So really a tier in SAN. So the more easily you can integrate that as a tier, the better. And I think it helps a lot because a lot of these SANs had been sized using spinning disks, right? So you really were trying to kind of size using the IOPS of a spinning disk when you can actually do it more cost effectively with Flash. So you get smaller footprints with Flash, but you still need spinning disk for other aspects of the data. So you usually have kind of a hierarchy of data types, and so if you've got an architecture that supports them all, it's a more efficient way instead of creating another silo that's completely independent.
So obviously you mentioned spinning disks, and now that's evolved from SAN, spinning disks. Now Flash changes the game, so I want you to comment on the role of software, because one of the things that's come up in our conversations this week is the role of software-defined, obviously intelligence, all kinds of new capabilities, virtualization. Certainly a lot's changed with what a DBA or someone managing storage used to do.
Right.
Manage volumes, manage LUNs, manage tables. Now you have, at both physical and software level. So now, what are you guys doing in software that's changing the game? Because Flash changes the game certainly on footprint, but now capabilities, you mentioned IOPS. What else does software do that you guys are developing?
Well, kind of the objective there is to simplify all those elements, right? To abstract them so that, especially a DBA or a virtual infrastructure admin isn't dealing with those kind of low-level elements. So really abstracting that, creating policies so that you can provision standardized policies that you can provision kind of the most common types of environments on this infrastructure. So if you look at FlexPod, it's effectively all software defined. You create virtual storage arrays, the server profiles are all stored in the network, they're all software defined, and now you've got a orchestration layer that basically allows you to create a application-centric policy that can automatically reprovision, reconfigure everything in that infrastructure based on the application needs. So what we're looking to do is really simplify that by abstracting those elements, but we're also looking to extend certain controls up to that application administrator. So a database administrator who's looking to create, say, clones to do testing on, or if he's looking to recover a file, that instead of going to the storage administrator, understanding the storage architecture, he's got tools and a console that allows him to do that much easier. So really enabling those guys to be more empowered in actually how they actually leverage those elements.
You know, Adam, I want you to share your opinion on something, because Jeff and I were talking on our kickoff today about how Oracle has a playbook. And because they have such a huge customer base, and you guys do too, but Oracle's massive, right? Mm-hmm. So the Larry Ellison playbook is, when there's sales inhibitors, they put on the radar. When it becomes a sales inhibitor, really, they build it. So it's really a validation. Oracle tends to be a validator of mega trends that are legit from a customer perspective. Real, global, broad sweeping, broad market opportunities. What does this Oracle show validated that you guys have been working on? Because you guys are an early leader in storage and software defined, all flash, hybrid storage, all that stuff that's key to converged infrastructure. You guys have been doing it. So what has Oracle validated that's in your wheelhouse that you can point to and say, hey, yeah, this year they validated X?
Yeah. The first one that comes to mind is, you know, you look at the keynotes that Larry had, and he's really even taken that next step and fully embraced cloud, right? So cloud is...
welcome to the party.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And you know,
got a seat for you.
Yeah, and so cloud is clearly, I think a lot of people saw that. They're fully on board now. And we see converged infrastructure, and I think Oracle sees it the same way, as a way of actually implementing these complex architectures, right, or sophisticated architectures. So you've got new technologies, new capabilities, kind of architecting these get more and more complex. Converged infrastructures provide a very kind of de-risked way of actually implementing these, such that you can actually do more. Private cloud in a box or new hybrid capabilities, all really self-contained and can deliver complete. So we've seen, you know, technologies with NetApp, very sophisticated technologies like cluster data on tap, have much higher attach rates on FlexPod. Because people perceive it's less risky if it's now kind of fully architected into this converged infrastructure stack. And so we see that same benefit now going to be applied to hybrid cloud infrastructures, to ACI, to intercloud with Cisco, really as an on-ramp to both new technologies, new customer capabilities, and hybrid cloud.
Talk about your role with Cisco. Obviously, UCS is something we've heard great stuff about, but the fabric that you guys work with Cisco, what's the relationship with Cisco and FlexPod?
So Cisco is a joint partner for FlexPod, so it's really a joint solution. So when we look at how we work and build a roadmap, it's a joint roadmap that we work together. So we're looking at a year, we've got new technologies, new strategies, our teams work together to identify kind of a steady progression of how we're actually going to deliver on a vision. And we've been doing that, I think 2 years ago, I think it's coming up on the anniversary of that, we kind of announced our vision, which was to extend FlexPod into smaller environments, into large multi-data center environments, incorporate application-centric infrastructure, and then actually start to extend it into hybrid cloud, and really have delivered on all of those. And probably the one thing that we are still trying to build out, we've got kind of some first steps in that, is the hybrid cloud. So you'll see kind of in the future, hybrid cloud and FlexPod as a platform for hybrid cloud is really those subsequent steps you'll see.
Talk about the channel partners you have. Obviously, system integrators right now are wanting to bring predefined solutions to the market. We saw success in that. Purpose-built was a word that was a dirty word years ago. Oh, purpose-built appliance. That's kind of a norm now, but when customers want solutions, they want to go to a trusted partner, obviously NetApp. Right. You guys just on Oracle, you have a relationship with AWS and other partners, so you have diversity in your support for FlexPod.
Right.
but I'm a customer. I might have a channel partner you're working with. What's the partner update? How are they involved with FlexPod? How does this relate to them around all this Oracle, Cisco stuff?
Yeah, so channel partners are a kind of a central component of FlexPod. So it was designed where our channel partners were a part of really the manufacturing process for FlexPod. So Cisco and NetApp, when we kind of evolve and grow what FlexPod is, we're building and extending the architecture. We're developing tools for our channel partners to size and implement a FlexPod. We've got a cooperative support structure so that there's a support process for this platform. And then we do training for our channel partners so that they know how to implement. So we really see channel partners really is an extension of the manufacturing process of FlexPod so that a customer can actually get a complete pod from their channel partners. And we see that as really the ideal model. We find that channel partners understand a lot of the business needs of customers much better. They'll have understanding of the application environment they're trying to build to, so they can take that foundational architecture and even do some customization of their own, actually add some of their own technologies on top of that, understand how the application would lay on that. So we actually work very closely with, especially some key channel partners on actually the roadmap and where it's going. So they're an integral part of really FlexPod and how we go to market.
It's very interesting. I want to follow up on that because one of the trends we see in the channel or integrator side of the business, whether it's a CSC or a preferred partner from NetApp, is that as they talk to customers, it used to be custom solutions. You get some enabling platform, you bolt on some solutions, you charge a high gross profit, everyone's happy, customers happy, everyone wins. But now you're seeing with DevOps and cloud and mobile infrastructure, blueprints being very critical, where your whole FlexPod concept is validated, where, okay, we have designed for certain workloads, but now you're starting to see partners become providers. So can you tell about that dynamic? Is there blueprints? Cisco's UCS has this service broker feature or service image, what do they call it? No, service, I was talking about it yesterday. It's the service.
It's like the image, I think.
It's the service. And
you define the configuration and then you just apply that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like a service broker. It's like a service formula, a recipe, if you will. So what's the blueprint strategy? Are you seeing more partners on board and saying, hey, I got FlexPod, I bolted something on top of it? Is that more of a trend or is that a one-off?
I think it's a trend. So I think we see the market going to hybrid cloud. So we see really enterprise customers doing kind of the blend of on-premises and public cloud services. And so we've been working with our channel partners to really help them actually start to implement and offer public cloud services. That could be developing their own, which often can be a pretty high hurdle, but it often can be actually figuring out who they could outsource or OEM cloud services from so that they can actually offer that combination. So if they're looking to build out their own cloud service, we've got architectures on FlexPod that show how you deliver infrastructure as a service, desktop as a service, backup as a service. So we've got those types of blueprints that they can implement, but we've also got partners that we can connect with our channel partners that they can actually white label or OEM those services so that they can go to their customers with an on-premise combined with a public cloud service that's all under their brand.
And verified and certified.
And validated, exactly.
Okay, so that seems to be more the norm than now than ever before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What are some of the big changes that you've seen just in the FlexPod rolling out to customers? What's been some of the reactions? Are people super happy? What have you learned? What are some of the best practices that you can share?
Yeah, I think some of the things that we're seeing quite a bit of, if I think of the trends, I kind of mentioned earlier that we see it used quite a bit as a platform for new technologies. So we see the greater adoption rate on things like clustered ONTAP. We see it for UCS Director. We'll see it for ACI. We'll see it for intercloud. So we'll see it as a platform that really kind of grows there. We see it quite a bit for database, kind of mission critical environments. So people will deploy it for that and then use that to grow from that point. So if I look at the workloads that are predominant, that's a big one. We've also seen that, I think it's 3 times as many of our private cloud deployments are actually on FlexPod than on just a traditional environment. So it really is a kind of a cloud in a box. Yeah. Whether it's a VMware cloud or a Microsoft cloud, we're seeing lots of those variants. And we're seeing more and more OpenStack. So one of the things that that we've just announced recently is that we've got this unique something we're pretty proud of, support arrangement with FlexPod called cooperative support. And so that's a structure where we try to eliminate finger pointing between vendors so that there's policies and procedures and actually infrastructure so that if a customer calls in, they won't get bounced around between the vendors. Whoever the customer calls first is really required to stay on the call, a part of the call until the entire call is closed, even if it's isolated into another vendor. And so that started off with Cisco, NetApp, and VMware. We've added Microsoft, we've added Citrix, and now we've added Red Hat, really as a part of the kind of the OpenStack, because we see OpenStack as a growing part of the technology stack that's running on FlexPod as well.
Yeah, you bring up those vendors. I want to bring up another point, Jeff. We were talking about earlier about Oracle-only customers. Obviously, the Oracle Cloud is for Oracle customers, for Oracle stuff. Mm-hmm. You guys, as a company, watching you guys from founding and to going public and now being a growing company, and certainly in a transformative market, is that you have to deal with all kinds of environments. And I'm talking to Tom Georgens, last time I sat down with him, he says things, we're very customer driven. We do things that customers want, even though it might not be fashionable, like working with Amazon Web Services. Okay, so you had Amazon, you had OpenStack. What do you guys learn, and where are you guys vis-a-vis the competition around a customer environment where the multitude of support needs are pretty high? I mean, you might even have customers that have EMC drives running like email, and you might be doing more clustered stuff over there, but what have you guys learned, and what do you guys talk to customers about, saying we're multi-vendor? Is that just a part of the software? Share that piece, because I think it's an important piece.
Yeah, so our vision is to basically support all different types of storage media, right? So if you think of our history, we've really, as a company, have taken inherently unreliable media like spinning disk and made them enterprise class, right? So if you think of where NetApp's going, it's being able to extend those capabilities. Now we're bringing it to flash, extending it now into cloud infrastructure as well. So ONTAP really as a platform that would run on optimized infrastructure. We've got a software-only version that runs on commodity. We've got a gateway that can run on third-party capacity like EMC and Hitachi, and we've got relationships with Amazon and Azure as well to kind of bring our storage next to their cloud. So you've got really a blend of different types of ways to use different types of storage media to bring together these different needs. Because we see, like you're saying, there's going to be heterogeneous environments that people are working in. What NetApp can do is bring a common set of data services to all these environments. Common ways of doing your backups, common ways of doing cloning, common ways of doing storage efficiencies, common ways of replicating data. All across all these different media types.
And that's a requirement, that's table stakes.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking to, because what people want to do is they don't want to have these as isolated silos, they want to actually see this as one large pool of capacity they can manage data among, and actually make sure that there's not different management tools as you go to these different environments.
All right, Adam, we got a break, but I'll give you the final word here. Share with the folks out there who are watching or may watch, what's the big thing about NetApp at this show? What's the big news, big event, big presence? Why are you here? What's the big story around NetApp here at Oracle OpenWorld?
The big story, from a FlexPod perspective, which is where my focus is our new platform, our FlexPod Select with high-performance Oracle rack. So tested 1 million IOPS on that platform, very high performance, so that's going to do it at sub-millisecond latency, so an ideal platform to delivering really the performance you need in an Oracle database.
Adam Fore here from NetApp inside theCUBE. We'll be right back with our next guest here, live in San Francisco at Oracle OpenWorld. This is theCUBE, we'll be right back.